involving pedestrians and cyclists. As chair of this committee, pedestrians and cyclist safety will always be my top priority. One potential danger to cyclists is the spillage of concrete onto the street from concrete mixer trucks, which can harden and create bumps that lead to crashes. A cost-effective way to prevent this spillage is by requiring concrete mixer trucks to attach a shut closure to the end of the shut on the truck. This device only costs a few $100s, a small investment for a preventive measure that can reduce a street maintenance costs and potentially save lives and prevent accident crashes. At this time, I would like to call Councilmember Holden to make a statement on his bill.
Thank you, Chair Rodriguez, for the opportunity to speak on Intro 1354, which would require, like you said, concrete mixing trucks operating in New York City to be equipped with chute shutters or a similar device to prevent the spillage of concrete and materials used in mixed concrete by no later than June 30th, 2021. The idea for this legislation came from multiple constituents in my district and my work in civic associations for over 3 decades. I've noticed this problem for a while. I reached out to Department of Transportation many times about these concrete mounds on roadbeds, bike lanes, and even some sidewalks. My staff and I traveled throughout the district and parts of the city and noticed so many of these areas. And again, they are a hazard to pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists alike. So Intro 1354 is cost-neutral legislation, which could actually save the city money because now DOT or sanitation will not have to clean these mounds and take up valuable time and resources. They have to jackhammer these mounds many times because they're so deep. So my staff and I were, over the last, year and a half or so, we're speaking to several industry professionals and trade unions who all agree that this is a big problem and all agree that it's a simple fix. So that's why the legislation is going to mandate cement mixer trucks have their chutes capped to prevent spillage of cement, which later hardens, of course, and forms the concrete mounds. I noticed that once I was on the BQE and the truck was going up the Kosciuszko Bridge, right in front of me, it spilled. And again, very dangerous, but also it creates ponding in rainstorms. So I want to thank Speaker Corey Johnson and his Chief of Staff, Jason Goldman, who I hounded for a while, but he came through, and as well as Jeff Baker and Lori Papa and their support for the bill. Also, Chair of the Transportation Committee, Councilmember Ydanis Rodriguez and his staff, Elliot Lynn, Rick Arbello, Kevin Katowski, for their help, and Alex Washington for the legislation division who helped draft this bill. And I would also like to thank DOT Commissioner Polly Trottenberg and her staff for working with us on the bill. It's rare that both the council and the administration agree on a bill so early on, and I was, quite surprised because it never happens to me. But it didn't go unnoticed that she liked the bill right away. So, and finally, I want to thank my staff for all the hard work on this, including who did several phone calls from constituents and getting city agencies to remove the cement mounds. So again, I urge that all my colleagues vote aye on this bill, and thanks all the council members who signed on and supported this bill. Thank you, Chair Rodriguez.
Thank you, Council Member. And before calling for the vote, I would like to say that that we were not able to hold a hearing on transportation or the bills because the MTA refused to come to a hearing that we have in a schedule where DOT agreed to come and MTA refused to come one time to address transportation after the during and after the coronavirus. And I want to share with my colleagues also that I've been urging the MTA to reopen the train services from midnight to 6 in the morning. Within that, it is enough. As it is true that we have to clean the trains at the station, the MTA should establish what is the timeline for how long the train will be closed so that they can do the assessment and let the New Yorker knows when will they plan to open it. So, I wanted to share that with you and also to share with you too that we will continue working to hold a hearing together with MTA and DOT. The other things also to share with the members of this committee is that, as you know, after the state passed a law to allow the city to decide on making electrical scooter, electrical bike illegal in the city of New York, I'm down and open to discuss these bills. I'm down to meet with the advocate, but I will, from my role as a chairman, I also need to address issues related to safety before also we move those bills. So hopefully, again, we get to address those issues and move those bills, and later on get the MTA to agree to come and have a joint hearing with DOT. With that, I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this piece of legislation and ask the committee clerk to call a vote.
Good morning. William Martin, Committee Clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Transportation. Proposed introduction 1354A. Chair Rodriguez.
Aye.
Cabrera.
Congratulations to the sponsor of the bill, Councilmember Holden. With that, I'll vote aye.
Cohen.
I too want to congratulate the sponsor. There's something incredibly satisfying at the City Council when there's a bill that's your idea, that you saw a problem, that someone brought to your attention in the community, that you identified. And it's always a lot of pushing to get those kind of bills through the council. So I really want to congratulate you on, I know it was a hard-fought battle for a bill that just is going to make the city a little better. So congratulations. And with that, I vote aye.
Deutsch.
Aye.
Koo.
I vote aye. I also want to congratulate Councilmember Holden for introducing this bill because we have the same problem in my district. Thank you, Councilmember.
Levine.
I vote aye.
Menchaca.
I vote aye.
Miller.
Thank you for such common sense legislation for a problem that we've experienced for many years in Southeast Queens. I vote aye.
Richards.
Congratulations, Councilman Holden. I vote aye.
Rose.
I want to say thank you, Councilmember Holden, for just such common sense legislation. It seems like this should have been done years ago. It's not like a new problem. So I want to congratulate you on just some real grassroots common sense legislation. Thank you. And I vote aye.
Diaz.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Holden.
I vote aye. Thank you all.
One moment. Let me just double check. Okay. By a vote of 12 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, proposed introduction 1354A has been adopted by the committee.
Thank you, everyone. With that, we close this hearing. And before that, I would like to, congratulate, of course, Councilman Holden for this bill, hoping that working together with City Hall, we get this bill to be activated as soon as possible, as also to install the side guard in all trucks, city-owned or private one, and for also the trucking associations who represent that sector too, to continue approaching the largest numbers of trucks that contribute to crashes on the whole city of New York, especially in the South Bronx, where they also have a large numbers of those trucks. With that, I call
Councilmember Reynoso is logged in.
Okay.
Continuation roll call, proposed introduction 1354A, Councilmember Reynoso.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Vote is now 13 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstention.
Thank you. With that, this hearing is adjourned. Thanks, guys.
All council members on public safety, if you could please remain on this Zoom. We're going to continue momentarily.